Hi, everybody. It's Sammy Cruz along with Moriah and our good buddy Dean Freeman from Freeman Injury Law. And we are just kind of hanging out here talking about Father's Day and what Father's Day was like for us growing up, what it means as us as fathers.
I was going to say, I'm not a dad, but I am a daddy's girl.
Yes, you are.
I'm the baby.
Do
Yes,
we
you
really
are.
want to go there, how we were growing up?
My dad taught me a few things about
Ooh.
parenthood and girls and stuff, but
Father-son relationship's a little different.
some I can say, some I can't. But
That's it.
I would say the one thing he taught me best advice was treat the woman in your life that you're going to marry like you would somebody to treat your sisters or your mom.
Oh, that's
There you
nice.
go.
See?
That's nice.
I like my dad's advice. What's yours is yours. What's his is yours.
That's what
like
I would
the
tell
best
my
advice.
daughters too.
See? Got a little
I
different.
don't know. My dad gave me a lot of advice over the years. You know, he was a hillbilly from South Carolina.
Yeah.
One of 10.
Oh wow,
Used to hang drywall.
really?
So we'd be, hanging some drywall on the weekends and this and that. Hear that lonely screw gun going off. You'd have to know what that's all about.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, he was a simple guy. So
My dad does construction too.
is that right?
Yeah, he did. Well, did cabinet work.
Mhm.
So I still like it's. I could smell like that sawdust.
Yep.
Like I like the smell of sawdust.
Really?
Is that weird?
This is not
Just
what you
reminds
would
me of my
expect out of
childhood when I
Moriah.
go take your take your daughter to work day and you go to job sites and I can only do. He wouldn't let me really handle the screw gun because it's
Yeah.
probably dangerous.
I got when I graduated high school, I was telling my parents, I don't want to go to college. My dad said, okay. My dad, when he was working, he was a structural engineer, owned his own company, and so he said, I'll get you a job. Got a job site going on. Go ahead. So I'm 18 years old going, that's right, I'm a working man. What time do I got to be there? 7 a.m. So I took that job and I did it for a summer and I enrolled in college the next fall. So that's what,
And then you did mornings and radio.
and then I got into radio and then
Talk about 4 a.m.
we meet
3
this
a.m.
girl and this guy.
Now you're having
Yeah.
fun, right?
Absolutely. It's been good. Been a good run.
Yeah, like I said, my dad was just a simple guy, so I can't, he wasn't that educated, this and that, and actually put in ceiling fans, was a handyman, this and that. So.
What was like one of the first memories you ever had of your father?
I'm having a hard time,
Really?
thinking about
Back
first
then?
memory. Jeez.
One time we were a little kid, we took us all, had my cousins, everybody in the car when I grew up in Chicago, and we were going to go sledding down a big hill in the snow. So we're all in the station wagon. We had one of those Caprice Estate station wagons
We had
with
a
the
green
brown
one.
panel on the side.
Yeah.
Everybody liked to sit, the
think
back
everyone
seat,
did.
the third seat.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it was my brother opened the door up, and a car came by, knocked the car door off.
Oh.
My dad just looked like that and said, "Everybody back in the car."
It's like out of the Griswolds.
Never went,
Right?
never went sledding.
Oh, there goes that one. No, I do remember my dad, and everyone brings it up. My mom was out of town. My dad used to let us eat with like our hands and just like do stuff that my mom was like really strict. And I remember as soon as he was at dinner, and I was probably like maybe 4, maybe a little younger. I don't know. We were eating, and as soon as my mom came back in town, I was like, "Dad, let us eat pasta with our hands."
Oh my gosh. I'm
I
sure that was a
still
fun
live that one down.
conversation
My dad
later.
was like, "Oh, dang."
Forgot the part about not to tell your mom.
Oh no, he did tell me that. I just I blurted things out. I still have that problem.
Yeah,
I have
you
no
do.
filter. Nothing. It doesn't properly through the head. It just comes out.
I understand that.
He was just a hard-working man. Same thing. Didn't bother to he'd get up when they had to get work, and he'd say, in his southern, my wife, I'm married 28 years, still couldn't understand him, especially if he had a couple Budweisers,
there
you know.
you go. A couple
And,
buds.
yeah, a couple buds, and you couldn't understand him. So, but he would work. He would just if the work was there, he would
Yeah.
work. So that's kind of what I laugh about being in a law firm, being an attorney or this and that, because becoming an attorney later in life, and I was actually I used to hang drywall. I was in the wood wire lath union. I was in the labor union.
Dang.
So I used to work, and I used to pop lines. It's called, I'd pop the lines for in the high rises down on Brickell in Miami. You're always 2 floors above everybody. We'd pop the lines, and they'd come by and put the framing up for all the apartments. So now when I get these young attorneys, this and that, and the monitor's not working or something, they won't bend over and plug it back in,
What's
and
going
that's
on?
funny.
Call the IT guy.
So now I drive by those construction sites.
Yeah.
You know, I used to eat off the roach coach.
Mhm.
You know, the trucks
Oh,
pull
yeah.
up.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
man. Roach Coach is great
We used
food.
to do all that
Lots of
stuff,
times.
you know. So, and nobody really knows that about me. And then I become an attorney. Now I'm a big shot.
Right?
Watch
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But he's an attorney without a tie. We like that.
Yes. Cool attorney.
Got the hard
Lay
hat and the
back.
hammer in the car.
What are some of the special moments that like you and your son have experienced together, and some of the stuff that you, Moriah, have experienced with your dad? What's some of those special moments?
You want to go first or me?
Oh, well, you talk, yeah. Like, see, that's what I'm saying. With my father was a whole different. My parents got divorced when I was young.
Yeah.
I was 16 years old, so it was different. But with my son, like I said, I'm married 28 years. I have a 14-year-old son. That's everything. I mean, you know, I drive him to school. I'm so involved, and then I love him so much, I couldn't think of a better name for him. His name is Dean Freeman. So I got to apologize for that because
Yeah,
there's
right.
another one coming.
Right.
All right.
Love
So
it.
but you know, the whole process, it's just the whole, I could sum it up really, the process, you know, between just being involved and
Mhm.
everything. I'm blessed
good
with that
thing.
part. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all good. That's great. I mean, that's, you know, what I like to do, it's the same thing about it's Father's Day now, you know, everything about being a father, but it's, you know, the unconditional, you know, love my wife, you know, she
Yeah.
never gives me a problem or anything, but my son, you know, it's unconditional love. It's watching him with the process, and letting him be who he is, and all the things like that. It's
Yeah.
just really coming. It's a great place,
Yeah.
great thing.
I was really lucky to have a dad that was always around, always wanted to be involved in any
Yeah.
sports or activities that any of my siblings, there's two of us, or two more in addition to me, and I remember having like projects for, I mean, whether it be school or like I was saying in sports, like building stuff. My dad was so hands-on. He would help me with anything, always, you know, at practices, bringing us to and from. I twirled, so like, you know, performances, places, football.
Twirled?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
major ed.
Twirler.
High school, like football games, like halftime shows and stuff, or any props that had to go along with that. Traveling, he was just a big part of that. And I mean, we used to go to like the bowling alley all the time, which we still try to do as much as we can. But we used to do like bowling trips
love bowling.
there. And
Yeah.
You grew up down here?
born and raised. Well, I was born in Fort Lauderdale, but grew up out in Loxahatchee. So we moved up here when I was 3. So that was one of like the memories there with eating at the house out in Loxahatchee. Eating with our hands, so I had to have been like 3, 4. But I mean, my dad is just so lucky to have, you know, that throughout your whole life, have somebody there, especially a father figure for me, you know, being a daughter, and his advice. And my dad's just so goofy and stuff, and we have a lot in common, food, and we love Mexican food,
Yes, there you go.
Italian food,
How
There you
about
go.
you? Sam?
margaritas and tequila.
I'm trying to think of one of the cool. I have a lot of memories of my father. He traveled a lot, so when we got as a kid, and so when we got him at the house with us, it was like a special moment. And I was in the Boy Scouts, and we had this camp out where we had to hike. It was like 2.5 miles in, and my dad decided he was going to take the boat around with one of the other fathers because they had to clear the site. Yeah, clear what was in the cooler was on the boat is what they had to do.
Smart
So yeah, right. So we met, and my mom had packed my pack the night before. You know, I mean, and my mom packed it like, you know, well, you might need this or you might need that. And you know, when I was in 7th grade, I was about 98 pounds and 4'11", and so the pack was as big as me, and I had the roughest time walking that 2.5 miles in that pack. I mean, by the time I got to campsite, I was crying. And my father really had this horrible, horrible back issue that he had. And so instead of taking the boat back, he grabbed my pack and walked back with me on the trail. So it was pretty kind of cool. So
That's good.
I was like, well, I appreciate that, Dad. Thank you. So now I get to just be involved with as much as I can with my kids' lives and things like that. I mean, I'm a prop father for my daughter's dance competitions and stuff. I get to bring the props out on stage, and I embarrass them because I dance when I walk off the
My
stage.
dad did the same thing. Gosh, I feel for you
the
girls.
fart, the fart and
Totally
catch it.
understand.
The fart and catch it.
No.
You don't know the fart and catch it?
Thank you for not doing that, Dad.
How do you not
Like,
know the fart and catch it?
No. What?
That's
I
the one where you
don't
go
even
like this,
what
you know,
to do.
fart and catch it, fart and catch it.
You did.
Oh, that's the dance.
That's the dance.
I'm thinking you're like.
No, you
Catch
don't
it.
actually fart on the stage. Although sometimes,
Farting catch.
So you don't
like
do the
a fan?
lawnmower? You know?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
I can
I can see
crush a
him coming out
lawnmower
from
and the
behind the
sprinkler and all that kind of fun stuff. So
Well, my dad, like I said, it was laid back country. It was actually, it's kind of. He said, don't know much of my father's side of the family. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm talking about deep woods, South Carolina, back in the day, dirt roads, the good thing. And he actually hitchhiked from South Carolina to Chicago when he was like 17, 18, or 19 years old. And that's when he married my mother at 19. He was 19.
yeah.
My mother maybe was 17. Or,
I'll
and
tell you that.
then he was a paratrooper. So he
Really?
became a paratrooper. Back then. So he jumped out of planes.
Jeez.
So, and then I cut my hand one time. I don't remember how, but I think he had a few Budweisers, and he was sitting around the kitchen
Back to
table
the
and
buds,
everything.
Dean, play with this knife.
He mixed up the flour and water and some kind of concoction. He fixed my wound.
Oh, you're kidding.
Instead of going to the doctor.
Instead of going to the doctor?
Yeah, we saved a few bucks on that
Absolutely.
one.
Nowadays, just like super glue.
And there's
Just
no
put it in
scar.
there.
There's no scar. Yeah. So.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so that's the kind of memories,
Dads.
little things like that.
I love those memories, man. I remember looking at my dad one day when he was shaving, and I was a kid, and I kept looking at him going, God, he was probably maybe in his 40s, early 40s, and I was looking at him, I was just a kid, and I went, am I going to look like that when I grow up? Holy moly. Of course, now I look at myself in the mirror today, and I go, my father was a handsome fella,
Well, it's Father's Day, but that's the thing, it's about, I'm a father now, and it's the same thing, you take some things you get, and you take the good, or you take the bad and let the bad go, or whatever, but there's no excuses now, right? You're
Right.
a father, or whoever's I'm a man now, and I move forward with it, and that's what sometimes, with Father's Day, when you look around and, people have a lot of excuses, or fathers have excuses. Yeah, there's a whole psychology behind it, but I mean, I think somebody's not a good father sometimes. I can't understand it, but you'd have to be a selfish person not
I
to
would
be a
think
good
so.
father.
That's correct. I agree.
Maybe that's the word I would think, selfish. Because when you're a father, you really do put your children ahead of yourself.
You have to.
And I'm happy as Dean Freeman that I got myself to a position. Sometimes they come up to me and they say, Mr. Freeman, we got a Dr. So-and-so needs to meet with you, wants to do this. And I say, I'm sorry, I'm tied up. I can't do it right now. I can't do it. Little they know, I'm getting in my car to go pick up my son from school.
Yeah.
I make that's my priority. My priority is my son.
That's,
Good
man,
I
that's
love it.
almost a luxury these days. It seems
Well,
like.
it is. I earned it. I
Well,
hopefully I
that's-
got to that point. I'm saying
Yeah.
and with kids, what do you know? And I mean, the simple things in life.
It really is.
What does your little baby want? Right? Nothing. Wants you there. It's about the simple things in life all the way through.
If you don't like what's happening in the world right now, then put yourself in a position to change it.
Yeah.
That's what I was always talking.
It's hard. Yeah. I mean, it's
And,
hard.
well, that's what you did.
Yeah.
That's-
Right.
So there you have it.
Yeah. And you don't have to reach here. You could get here. As long as you're above the
Absolutely.
threshold, you don't have. I'm actually reading a little book about, the thing about knowledge. Everybody strives to be number one, or you want to be the smartest. You don't have to be the smartest. You just got to get over the threshold and be in that group. Because at the end of the day, smarts and working hard and all that, because, we can go into it for a while, you have to put all that
Absolutely.
together. If you're smart, but you can't get out of bed at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Not gonna get you nowhere.
Right.
I got blessed. My daughter's 16, and she is in bed by 8 o'clock, unless she's studying. So, and I'm like, cool. You don't want to go out? I mean, I know what I was doing when I was 16. I mean,
I started dating
I don't
Scott
want to know
when
what
I
you
was
were
16.
doing. Yeah.
Started dating Scotty at 16.
My son
I was a good
uses
kid.
that.
Still am.
He does great in school, but he uses that. He'll say, I go, we got to do that, the chores or do this and that. He's got to study. Now, all of a sudden, he's got to study.
Yeah, right.
So
Oh,
I
I gotta
can't
write this
argue
paper
with
down.
that.
Can't do the
Sorry.
dishes, Dad. I got to study.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Suck it
oh,
first.
dang it.
I mean, I actually live on 20 acres, right? So I have a little ranch. I live on 20
Yeah.
acres, not far up the road there. And his assignment is there's this plot, little square on there. I got 20 acres that's taken care of, and his little square is overgrown. At times.
man.
Got to study.
That property,
So,
I grew up on 10 acres, and that takes a lot of time to clean up all that.
Yeah, well, I enjoy it. We got our dogs out there. Got
Yep.
some cows on. I got the pond stocked.
Nice.
So we got all the fruit trees, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. So
Well, this has been fun hanging out with you, man. I appreciate it. Got to learn a lot about you today.
Right?
Oh, there's more to it.
We need next
Well,
chapter.
wait till
We're
the
gonna do next
Budweiser
one,
starts
right?
I was going to say,
When
next
we get
time we
some
do
beers.
this, there definitely will be sponsored by Budweiser.
Yes.